We have a guest awaiting for us. We talked to Coach Merschman first. Now let's talk with the other Northern 10 head coach that will be playing for a regional championship as we welcome in Colonel Crawford head coach Jake Bruner. Coach Bruner, I know you were at a regional meeting. You're back now. First, how was the meeting and how are you doing tonight?
Sorry I'm late.
Oh, you're good. We were talking about some other games. You're fine, but how's your evening going? How's the preparation for West Jeff going here tonight?
Well, good. Obviously just the first day today, and hopefully the weather will cooperate the next couple days, and we'll get some more work done.
Well, let's get right into things, Coach. I mean, you guys were able to check off the first thing off your list and being N10 champs, despite, a loss to Carey. I know you would have liked to probably be undefeated coming into this matchup, but let's go back to that Carey loss real quick. Was that something that kind of awakened you guys after, the strong start because since that game, you guys have just rolled your competition?
Well, I think, number one, it's really, really difficult to go undefeated in a regular season. And, when you look at Carey even, it's just there's too many good teams. You got to play well so many weeks in a row. And, I do think that our kids got a little bit of a wake-up call that, hey, we're not as good as we think we are. We got a lot to improve on. And then they took that to task and worked on those things.
Well, Coach, we just got to talk to Coach Merschman. He's excited for you, and I know that you're excited for him as well, getting as far as you guys have both have in Division 6. Just talk to me about the path to get here. Of course, you did not get the bye. You got what I honestly think in the new format that we have is the best seeding possible, is a 5 seed. You don't have to take that bye. You get to stay nice and fresh coming right out of the season. Is that the mindset that you had coming in, knowing that you weren't going to get the bye, but you were going to get an extra game to stay fresh?
Yeah, I mean, off the cuff, our coaches and myself, we just really felt like our team wasn't a team that needed a bye week. We needed a focus. And if we got the bye, we got the bye. We were going to tell our kids that. But, in retrospect, things happen for a reason. And I think, for our team, just having an opponent, a focus to improve on, to look forward to get ready for was important for them. And I think for most people, I think they feel the same way for the most part, unless you're banged up week 10 and you got an injury that could have got better in a week or something like that. But a lot of, the injuries that teams have right now, at least for us, they were something that was going to get fixed in a week, and kids have been playing all year with them. So, we just felt like that was the best work for us. And, when you said something about the Northern 10, and Coach Merschman and all the coaches that are in the Northern 10 and in the area, we all text and wish each other good luck because, coaches of fraternity, we want to see people do really well. And, I'm good friends with Coach Colatrulli at Hopewell Loudon. They're a good football team too. It's going to be a heck of a game there between Carey and them. Again.
Well, Coach, just take me through. We're watching the Centerburg highlights right now. I mean, I had the privilege to go down and get to watch you guys go to work, and I mean, pain right there. House of pain for DeGray as he has all season long. Just take me through what really went well for this team. The blocking was phenomenal. I mean, a lot of untouched rushing touchdowns, which was a staple for the other side all season long, but you guys were able to flip that script and really take it to another KMAC competitor last week.
Yeah, we were really concerned. Number one, Centerburg's a really good football team. We were really concerned with their speed. They just were so athletic and dynamic with obviously they got the number 4 and number 81 who's got multiple Division I offers and at receiver and then with the Marshall kid at tailback and the quarterback that was a dual threat athlete. We were just really concerned. As we watched their O-line through the tapes, we were like, man, this is a good offensive line and obviously a well-coached team. But, I just felt like our kids were really focused. I think they knew they had a tough task. We're going to Centerburg. It was going to be a challenge. Things went as well as they could early for us. And, whenever you break that barrier, we were up 14-0 at half, but, we left the score on the board there because, we fumbled a punt. They almost scored. We never really felt like it was out of control until that first drive in the second half. We went 21. Then it just kind of all went our way. So, scores end up that way a lot of times, but to be honest with you, it was a really back and forth game early and it just got ugly at the end there a little bit, but our physicality showed, I thought, in that game and as a team and our ability to stop their run and stop their big plays was really the difference.
Now I need to know that first drive in the second half, the touchdown with McMichael going down the sideline. I saw Dom Dean perk his head up and basically tell Connor to go in motion. Was that Dom reading the defense right there at tight end?
I don't know if he was doing that or he was telling Connor or Braden Holt to throw the ball to him, because he could see what they were kind of in their bear look, and he didn't see anybody rotate over. So I think he was trying to explain, hey, you better throw at him because they're either double covering or the safety hadn't gotten over there. So Dom's a really smart player, and Braden Holt is really good at reading defenses. They made a great hook up there.
Yeah, absolutely. And then just taking you through, of course, talk about KMAC competition the last 2 weeks. I'm not going to talk about the competition here in this question, but how about the playing surfaces? I mean, Mount Gilead, a gorgeous place to play. I saw in the comment section of our live stream that a couple of Crawford fans were very impressed with the facilities over there at Mount Gilead, but Centerburg took notes as well, and they actually installed that same Bermuda grass that you guys got to play on last week. So, I mean, later on in the season, if you're playing on grass, it's very hard to find something nice, but I feel like you guys have been spoiled the last 2 weeks. Do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, Mount Gilead's field, I have not been on it. We used to play Mount Gilead for a long time at Colonel Crawford, back to when I was playing there. But that was an unbelievable. I was shocked how it felt and how it looked, and man, that was a unique opportunity for me and for our kids. And Centerburg, they've obviously put money in their turf. It looks a lot like ours per se, but it's a little more seasoned because they've been doing it for a little longer. And boy, what a different aspect they have in their scene. I've never been to Centerburg, but I tell you what a great aspect they have in the background and the setting there. I mean, people are on top of you, but it's a pretty interesting sight.
Well, it's a funny thing too, Coach. If you're there earlier in the season, the guy that owns the cornfield right by it, on Friday nights he will actually be running his equipment with the corn blowing into the field and everything like this. So you guys didn't get to experience the full Centerburg atmosphere, but it was pretty darn close.
Yeah, I mean, I probably fit in right with it, Colonel Crawford, and tractors and harvest and all those things. That'd have been awesome.
But not only did you go up against Miles Marshall and company, but you went up 2 weeks ago against the area's rushing champion in Carson Barnum, and both you pretty much shut down. Just what does that say about your defensive line, your linebacking core, that you can trust them to shut down any running back in the area?
Well, I tell you what, the Barnum kid's a tough player, and boy, their size at Mount Gilead was impressive. I think our kids rose to the challenge again. I think as a group they do a great job of working together to fill those voids. And Payne's obviously a great player, but we have some other great players in that line too that kind of work together. And it's a collective group, and a lot of them do a great job of keeping guys off linebackers, which allows Connor McMichael and Walker Kramer and Gabe Stratton and Dom Dean to make tackles.
Coach, I know you've had some great teams in the past, but is this the most balanced team you've had?
Offensively, it's the most balanced team from a run-pass standpoint. I mean, obviously Connor gets a lot of talk about his ability to run the ball, but, Rowan Thu's really overshadowed as a runner. He's more of a speedster, but, we use him in the receiving and obviously to run the ball a little bit. And, even Avery Powers, a sophomore, has been a nice highlight with us in the backfield. And then obviously Peyton Baker, Friday night, another team got to see Peyton Baker run the ball. And, when you have a back like Connor, people want to take him away, and you have to do some other things. But from a standpoint of throwing, this is the most balanced running and passing that I've had for a long time. I was at Bucyrus for 7 years, had some good teams there, and we had some teams that could throw the ball with Jamie Campbell and Kyle Dennison and some other guys. So, but balance wise, this is they're right up there.
And I mean, it's got to do with your two quarterback system as well. I mean, both quarterbacks over 1,300 yards passing, but then also with Peyton, he has that dual threat ability. I mean, that's got to be just a gift for a coach, having two quarterbacks that you can throw in any time, but you can kind of mix things up and do different things with either one.
Yeah, both have similar qualities, but they both have different qualities too. And Peyton has really worked hard to improve his speed and himself in the weight room, and throws an unbelievable deep ball as well. But Braden does a great job of just using his mind and his ability, just savviness to keep a play going and to find an open guy. And when you got receivers like Parker Weithman and John DeGray and Dom Dean and Connor McMichael and Rowan Thu in the backfield, Tyler Lash and the Cochran kid as well, who's a senior first-year player, had a big catch for us Friday night, or 2 big catches. Those kids have really come along. But the quarterback leadership and the way those two guys handle each other and how they lead our team by just doing the right things all the time says a lot about those two guys. And they're both very tough on themselves, but they're also very complimentary of each other.
Before we get to West Jefferson and your matchup for a regional championship coming up this Friday, there's a team right down the road from you also playing for a regional championship, and you were actually on the coach's corner with head coach Matt Dick just on Wednesday. What's your take on this Shelby-Gallion game coming up? There's a possibility we could have two teams not that far apart win regional championships.
Well, we scrimmage Shelby and Sandusky Perkins, so we know how good those two teams are. Fortunate for us, we don't play Gallion because they're awful fast. And I got a chance to watch a little bit of that Gallion-Shelby game early in the season. Boy, what a game it was. And, the DeVito kid is one of a kind, but I thought Gallion had his opportunities to win that game. I know that there's some injuries for Gallion with the Chambers kid. That's a big loss because he's a great player, but that's going to be a great matchup. I'm just overwhelmingly impressed by Gallion's team speed, not just as an individual, but as a group of guys playing defense. We get to see him against Carey, but man, Shelby's got it going, and their coaches do a great job. And boy, I think it's going to be a great matchup. The DeVito kid, though, he's a special player.
Well, I got a fun question for you, Coach. Just say theoretically that your team automatically wins. You don't have to play West Jeff. You move on to the next week, and you get a chance to go pick a game that you get to go watch in the area. Which one are you picking? Because there's just so much going on in our area when it comes to regional championship games.
Are you talking this week or next week?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm talking this week. Like the matchups that we see this Friday. If Crawford's already done and dusted, they're going to the Final Four, and you had to pick a game to go to. Which one are you going to?
I probably would pick Gallion and Shelby, honestly, because I started my coaching career at Shelby. I was there for 4 years as an assistant for Coach Schaefer and Coach Solis, who's now on my staff. And, I got a little Whippet blood in me. At the same time, I can remember going to the Gallion-Shelby game as a young person and, back in the NOL days. So it's a special game just in the regular season. So that would be a great game to watch.
Well, you have to play West Jefferson this weekend, though. So let's break down this game. It was a few seasons ago, a freshman quarterback led West Jefferson to a blowout over the Northmore Golden Knights in the postseason. Well, he's back, and he's a 3,000-yard passer in Busher. What is going to have to happen to shut him down?
I'll tell you what, he's not only has he got a cannon, he can throw the ball a mile, and he puts it on the money. He's 6'4", and he's the real deal. I think the talk is he's going to Ashland to play football for a really good Ashland football team in Division II that's really, really talented. Boy, he's got a great receiving core around him. The only thing I can say is you can only limit their offense. I mean, he's going to throw for yards, and they're going to score points. You just have to manage them. They're never out of a game if they get down, and they're never, even up. I mean, they were up 14-0 on Fort Fry last week. Looked like they were going to roll. Fort Fry came back, and, Fort Fry went for two to win or to tie and didn't get it. And that was the game. And then they won one game. They won by one over Toronto in week 1 of the playoffs. They're just, there's just a belief there that if we got the ball, the game's not going to be over. So, their offense is just really impressive. They throw it around, look like a Keith Diebler Upper Sandusky basketball team, just, throwing that ball, throwing that rock around, and they do a great job of catching it. He's got 4 guys with over 50 catches plus, and he's got one guy with 60. So, I mean, they are not afraid to throw it every down. They will run it. He can run it, and they've got a running back, but it's going to be a huge test for us.
Is there any team that you can compare West Jefferson to that you've played this season?
Not really. Seneca East, as much as the Parks kids and how impressive I am with him, there really isn't. The Parks kid can throw it and he can run it, but this kid's arm's at a different level. I mean, he has an arm that he's on the right hash and he wants to throw a 20. It's all to throw it to the other side of the field on the money on a smash route. He can do it. And there's no throw he can't make. So I haven't seen it, but we played a team many years ago with in Fairview, the Colonel Crawford in 2020, the COVID year. They had a great team, and they remind me of them throwing the rock around, and they beat us in the last play of the game. So let's hope that doesn't go the same way. But they just do a great job offensively and defensively. Their deal is just we're going to stay in front of you, and we're going to play defense. And when we're going to onside kick the ball, we're going to get it back and steal possession from you, and try to keep it close, because if the ball's in our hands at the end, they just truly believe they're going to win.
Now, I know that you didn't play them, but this sounds like a small town, maybe Ashland Arrows. Is that the vibe I'm getting?
Yeah, Ashland is a really good look for them. I mean, they're different than Ashland in one aspect, but they're very similar in another. With Ashland and throwing the ball over the years with Coach Valentine, that's a great look. Yeah.
And I know you guys 47.5 sacks. You have 100.5 tackles for loss. So you got to think pressuring this quarterback and containing him is going to be one of the major keys for this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, you're only going to pressure them so much. They get to do a great job of throwing the ball really quickly. And their coach does. They've been around the block. He's seen it all. They've got answers for everything offensively. You can see that they know how to get the ball to different people, screen you, slow you down, throw the ball quickly, and then at the same time, pick the poison when they can get after you. But absolutely, pressure is one of the best things you can do for a defensive secondary.
I'm going to have you help out our boys at WBCO, who will be on the call this Friday night for you guys down at Highland. We usually give our keys to victory. What are 2 keys to victory for the Colonel Crawford Eagles?
Well, try not to give up too many big plays. Take care of the football on our aspect offensively, and then we're going to have to win the special teams battle. They have a great kicker who they onside kick quite a bit. They place the ball a lot on kickoff, so field position is important, and so special teams will play a big point in that as well.
All right, last question for me, Coach. I'm going to be joining you Wednesday because I believe you guys are going to go practice at Highland. So you get a chance 2 days early to get a feel for where you're going to be on Friday night. Just how valuable is that for you guys to be able to get a practice in there?
Well, I think it's just it'll get out the wrinkles of, hey, what's the feel like on my cleats, and all those things to make our guys feel better. But it's just gonna be a practice for us at the place we're gonna play, and hopefully we can get something about that feeling and that the grip on the ground, and every place is a little different. Going on a field before the game, like when we went to Mount Gilead, I had not been there since they redid that, and I didn't know what to expect. I had heard stories that it was slippery, or it was those things and stuff. So we were always concerned, but so we're trying to get those out of the way so we can focus on playing the game and doing our job and the big task we have at hand.
So, Coach, last thing from me, you're also athletic director there. There's a team that's going to be starting their season probably a little bit later because the football team's still on the field. That is Coach David Sheldon's Eagles, the defending Final Four squad. Has he sent you any message like, come on, man, can I start my season at least on time for once?
No, I think the way the world has worked with, the last couple of years, we've moved games every year. Obviously, we've moved more this year. And, the thing is, Coach Sheldon can't really start basketball because pretty much the whole varsity basketball team's on our football team. So, he's been really good. Obviously, he's been an athletic director before. And, he's doing the best he can, trying to organize the season, push it back, and at the same time support us and the run that we're having. I think he's got some kids on his basketball team that probably like football better than basketball, and we got some guys on our football team that are really, really good key players for us that like basketball more than football. And it's never bothered me. I'm a big basketball fan. My basketball career wasn't very good. I was a center in 7th grade, and by the time I was a sophomore, I was a bad dribbling two guard. So I had to give that sport up. But I still love basketball. My son played basketball last year on the team for him, and now is playing football at Division III school. But I think what's cool about Colonel Crawford is we'll have some guys shooting in the morning on Wednesday, and they'll be going to practice in the afternoon for us. And during basketball season, there'll be guys throwing it, inside at the same time, lifting weights and playing basketball for Coach Sheldon. So, it's exciting both seasons, and I think we're both wanting to have the best season we can for each other. And at the same time, I know Coach Sheldon is ready to get those basketball guys going too, but he's also rooting us on too.
Well, not very many guys can brag that they get to compete in a Final Four in basketball, and then if you guys win Friday, a Final Four in football as well, all within 12 months. So we're wishing you the best of luck there as well.
Thank you very much. We got great kids and a great community. We're very fortunate.
Yeah, absolutely. And, it worked last year. You guys went in deep into the playoffs, and then the basketball team still went to a Final Four and was close to making a state championship game. So, hey, just play a couple more weeks, and maybe that means the basketball team plays a couple more weeks as well. But it's been a privilege being able to cover you guys in the playoffs, and we hope we get to see you for at least a few more weeks, and maybe that matchup with Carey in a state championship game. That'd be pretty cool as well, right, Coach? I know you were looking 1 week at a time, but us media folk, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, anytime we get to extend our season for another week as for our seniors will be great. So we're excited.
All right, Coach, I'll let you get back inside out of the cold and watch some Monday Night Football. The Raiders are up on the Cowboys right now, 6-3 with 2 minutes left in the first. So, Coach, go get warm, get ready, and we cannot wait to watch you play for a regional championship on Friday.
Best of luck, Coach.
Thanks. Thank you. Thanks for your support.
That is head coach Jake Bruner of the Colonel Crawford Eagles. It's always been Crawford. I don't know why we were K-Mac loyalties, things like that. Mount Gilead, phenomenal season, breaking records. Centerburg, showing what they were off. But it's always been Colonel Crawford. And we should have just kept thinking that because they're the ones standing ahead of all of our area teams in Division 6 Region 23.
You just look at the star power, and if you have a star on offense and a star on defense, you're set. I don't think I can really say that for either of the two teams that you mentioned, having a star both on offense and on defense for Centerburg, for Mount Gilead, even for Fort Fry that fell to West Jeff. So Colonel Crawford, shout out to them. I'm excited again, we're going to be at Danville Hillsdale, but I'm still excited to see how that one pans out when I watch it on Saturday morning.